Thanks for watching TCM tonight as we remember Dame Maggie Smith, who passed away earlier this year at the age of 89. I'm Alicia Malone, and Maggie Smith left behind a wide-ranging body of work, including 6 decades of screen roles, 2 Oscar wins, plus a Tony and 4 Emmys. And in our lineup, we're focusing on her earlier films. Next is the movie she won her first Oscar for, from 1969, directed by Ronald Neame. It's The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. The script by J. Preston Allen is based on her own play, which in turn had been adapted from the novel by Muriel Sparks. Set in 1932, Smith plays the Miss Jean Brodie of the title, a teacher at a girls' school in Edinburgh, Scotland. She is in her 30s, her prime, as she tells her students, and takes several under her wing to teach them about life and love. Her controversial methods shock the other teachers and bring up questions about how involved a teacher should be in influencing the lives of her students. This is a tour de force performance by Maggie Smith, who is always able to use her voice and her body to convey characters, from this young, arrogant teacher to the older, haughtier Violet Crawley in Downton Abbey. On this set, Smith forged a bond with the young girls playing her students, with Jane Carr, who plays Mary McGregor, remembering that Maggie became our genuine Miss Brodie. We were hers for life and hung on to her every word. Also with Celia Johnson, Pamela Franklin, and Maggie Smith's husband at the time, Robert Stevens. From 1969, this is The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. Maggie Smith impressed critics and audiences with her performance in The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. Vincent Canby from the New York Times wrote that Smith, as Brodie, was a staggering amalgam of counterpointed moods, switches in voice levels, and obliquely stated emotions, all of which are precisely right. Smith was nominated for her second Academy Award, her first as Best Actress, and also competing in her category were Jane Fonda for They Shoot Horses, Don't They?, Liza Minnelli for The Sterile Cuckoo, Geneviève Bujold for Anne of the Thousand Days, and Gene Simmons for The Happy Ending. Smith ended up winning Best Actress, but wasn't able to be at the ceremony, so her friend, the actress Alice Ghostley, accepted on her behalf, saying, "We in America present this award to you, Maggie, with as much thanks as it is a tribute to your magnificent performance." And we have another magnificent performance by the late Maggie Smith coming up next on TCM. After the break, we'll see her play an eccentric aunt in a comedy from 1972.
Next on TCM, Travels with My Aunt, then A Room with a View, and later, Young Cassidy. There's nothing like a dame on TCM tonight.
Thanks for watching TCM as we spend tonight remembering Dame Maggie Smith, who passed away in September at the age of 89. I'm Alicia Malone, and we're about to watch another brilliant performance by Smith from 1972, directed by George Cukor. It's Travels with My Aunt. By this time, Smith had more than proved herself on the stage and the screen, earning a Best Supporting Actress Oscar nomination for Othello from 1965 and a Best Actress Oscar win for The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie from 1969. Following that, she took some time off to have her second child, actor Toby Stephens, then starred in several stage productions and came back strong on the big screen 3 years later with another Oscar-nominated performance in Travels with My Aunt. With a screenplay adapted by J. Preston Allen and playwright Hugh Wheeler, based on a comedic novel by Graham Greene, Smith plays an eccentric aunt named Augusta, who surprises her nephew Henry, played by Alec McCowan, at his mother's funeral. Soon, she ropes him into a madcap adventure and tells him wild tales about her youth. Smith was only in her late 30s and had to play decades older, but she was convincing, and her younger age works well for the flashback scenes. She wasn't actually the original choice for this role. George Cukor had hoped to direct his friend Katharine Hepburn once again, but Hepburn wasn't happy with the script, even when J. Preston Allen offered her the chance to rewrite it herself. She did, but still felt it wasn't quite right. In the end, MGM gave Hepburn an ultimatum, and she walked away, leaving the path clear for Maggie Smith. With Lou Gossett Jr. and Cindy Williams from 1972, this is Travels with My Aunt. Travels with My Aunt earned Maggie Smith her third Oscar nomination after being nominated for Othello from 1965 and winning for The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie from 1969. Liza Minnelli ended up winning the Best Actress category for the year of 1972 for Cabaret, but Smith had 3 more trips to the Academy Awards ahead of her, winning her second Oscar for her supporting performance in California Suite from 1978 and picking up nominations for A Room with a View from 1985 and Gosford Park from 2001. Maggie Smith stayed on screen as a familiar British actress, but her career suddenly exploded when she was in her 70s and was cast in the TV series Downton Abbey. She was also regularly being recognised by children from her role in the Harry Potter franchise. TCM's tribute to the late Maggie Smith will continue after this break with a Merchant Ivory production from 1985, where Smith shared the screen with Helena Bonham Carter as well as her real-life friend Judi Dench.
Next on TCM, A Room with a View, then Young Cassidy, and later Blackbeard the Pirate. TCM hoists the Jolly Roger tonight.